October 14th, 2020. Back in the greenhouse. Fig's doing its thing. Things are growing well. So give you a shot of the lemons. Anyway, this video is just showing how I use some of my recycled soil. This is all soil that I bumped back from other pots from previous years, growing various herbs, plants, starts, etc. So the soil isn't really great for starting, but it's a good base mix. It's got a lot of trace mineral nutrition and residual nutrients in it. But I wouldn't use it for starting, or something where I want to start with a nice clean potting mix. So I threw it back in this bin. This bin, well, tank really, started leaking last year. Got pretty bad, so I'm just abandoning it as a water tank and using it as a planter in the greenhouse now. It should hold pretty good thermal mass, and I'm going to take some of these ginger that I've been propagating since last year. I think about a year and a half ago, I think I put these into propagation. Might even be two. Anyway, I'm going to take these two pink bins, plant them in here, and I'm also going to take these sweet potatoes that also have nasturtiums in them and plant them in there. And I picked up a little bit of Coast of Maine potting mix soil today. Not as much as I want, but I didn't really have the budget to get a bunch of it. So I'm going to top off with that a little bit, and that'll make some space up on the shelving here. I got some shelf cleanup to do here, obviously, still, but then I want to get some other stuff going in here. So so that's what I'm doing. I just thought I would share it before I put the plants in it, so you can see kind of the base layer that's there. Alright, sweet potatoes are in, and I don't know if you can see on camera, but that's what we kind of call a hard transplant. They'll be fine. They've got good root base in them, and I'm going to bury them in good soil, give them good moisture, and then I'll probably give them a good foliar feed tomorrow or the next day. Anyway, time to transplant the ginger. Alright, there's the first planter of ginger in. Sort of a rough transplant, but not too bad. Managed to be a little more gentle with them. There was also a sweet potato embedded in that as well. So I'll just show you quick while we're sort of disturbing the root zone already. You can see we've got some nice ginger growing in there. There's another cluster, a big cluster in there, and then this one kind of fell out. I guess I could show you this one. So definitely growing some beautiful ginger, and glad to be propagating it. Alright, so there's a second bin of ginger in. Here's a great example of ginger root sprouting. This one must have been slow to sprout, but here it is now. So I'm just going to kind of spread these out a little bit, give them a little bit more breathing room so they can propagate a little wider areas. And then I'm going to, you can see there's another nice one right there. I'm going to add some more soil back on top of this, some of that nice Coast of Maine mix on it, and then water it in for now. And then after they get settled, and when I have more than 5 minutes to do any of this, I'll come back and give them a foliar drench. I'll probably hit them with some Sea Shield and some Sea Stim from Advancing Eco Agriculture. Amazing, amazing products for growing ginger and turmeric especially, but root crops in general, especially the Sea Stim, really stimulates tremendous root growth. Alright, and there you go. Coast of Maine entire 2 cubic foot bag potting soil mix in on top. Got it relatively leveled out. There's definitely some air spaces in there, but I'm going to hit it real hard with some water and help settle those out and make sure everything's nice and wet. And I should mention the soil at the bottom of this bin is a little bit cold right now from being outside, but I'm going to move this crate and stool out of the way so the heat from the stove can radiate directly to this tank and warm it up. And I bet you by tomorrow night most of that soil is pretty well warmed up, so it shouldn't shock them too terribly bad. Alright, that's it for now. Hope you found this interesting or informative. If you're interested in propagating or growing your own ginger or turmeric, I have a video on that. I'll give you a link here, and I'll also put it on the end screen of this video. Hope you found this interesting or informative. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if I've earned it. And come check out my show, Comrades in Farms, on Truth Frequency Radio, or right here on YouTube. Also on iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network. One last thing I guess I should mention. I just dumped about 10 or 12 gallons on here of water. This tank was completely full. Yeah, it's probably, it's a 30-gallon tank. It's probably closer to 15 gallons that I put on here in rapid succession. Number one, to help kind of settle all that loose soil in. Number two, to help these guys manage the transplant shock so they don't have a lack of moisture as they're trying to sort of reestablish themselves. And the other cool thing that does, by using water that was warmed in the tank here, that water is probably 75 degrees. In doing that, it imparts a tremendous amount of thermal energy to that lower part of the tank where that soil was cool. So kind of helps reduce that cold soil shock thing. Alright, I just thought I should mention that. Thanks for watching Pharmacy Seeds Network.